Today I want to take you on a special little journey and show you Mumbai through the lens of an urbanist. Mumbai has many magnificent attributes which we are all proud of, but it is also a greatly divided city, divided spatially into the haves and the have-nots, the slum and the non-slum, the formal and the informal. And dividing Mumbai, its divider in chief, is none other than the Mithi River. This phenomenon of splintered urbanism with a case study of the Mithi River is what we're going to explore today. What comes to mind when you think of the Mithi River? Floods, mangroves, sewer, slums, desilting scams, and the great fart of Bandra. All negative attributes. Seems like a curse, but if you look closely, you'll find that the Mithi River has been one of the biggest blessings Mumbai has ever received. Pehle to pani diya. Our first freshwater supply came with dams built on the Mithi River at Vihar Lake, Tulsi Lake and Powai Lake. Then further downstream, as you come to the estuary, large mangroves were just carved out overnight to give us the international airport and India's financial epicenter, the Bandra Kurla complex. And then Bombay exploded. It became the financial capital of India and land became expensive. So slums came up. Where? Along the banks of the Mithi River, Dharavi. So history reveals that it is Mumbai that has defined every aspect of the life of the Mithi River. The shape of the Mithi River was determined through reclamation. How it flows, where it flows, how much it flows, how polluted it is. Every single aspect defined by the city. Now if we zoom out of the past and we zoom into the present, we see that the tables have completely turned. It is the Mithi River that has defined every aspect of Mumbai city. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the Great Wall of Mumbai, the Mithi River. Come, let's unpack this mystery. But before that, thodi si history. When the 7 islands of Bombay were merged into one island, the effort stopped at the north, where Mahim, Dharavi and Sion. This amalgamated Bombay was still an island. It had the Arabian Sea to the west and the south, it had the Thane Creek to the east, and to the north it had the Mithi estuary, a continuous body of water connecting on the west the Arabian Sea and on the east the Thane Creek. Across the estuary was Bandra, Kurla and Chembur. From the hills of the Sanjay Gandhi National Park to the north of the city, a small river flowed through the cityscape and came and joined the Mithi estuary. This was the Mithi River. The estuary itself was kilometers wide. It was full of dense, thick, thriving mangrove forests. But over the years, the city grew, and in its greed, it shaped and reshaped the Mithi River and the Mithi estuary. The stream that flowed from north to south was made to bend very unnaturally, sometimes at right angle, sometimes it was pushed under a bridge, sometimes it was pushed under the runway of the airport. Eventually it labored its way through the city and made its way into the estuary where it emptied its water. The Mithi estuary itself was a victim of land grab and reclamation. So many mangroves that we lost to gain the Bandra Kurla complex and the international airport reshaped what the estuary looked like. One arm of the estuary was completely cut off. The part that flowed east through the Mahul channel connecting to the Thane Creek on the east, that part was completely severed off from the Mithi River. And the entire estuary, which was kilometers wide, got narrow and took the shape of a river. That's what we call the Mithi River of today. And then something strange happened, very strange. Everything east of the Mithi River became dominated by slums. You see these slums only when during landing and takeoff from the international airport. And everything west of the Mithi River got a big push, a financial push. You got the Bandra Kurla complex. You had the beautiful neighbourhoods of Bandra, Khar, Santa Cruz, Juhu, Villeparle. Even to the north, where the source of the Mithi River is, where it's no longer kind of dividing the city, you have Ghatkopar, you've got Powai. And these are also on the upmarket side of the Mumbai spectrum, right? And then of course you have the Mithi estuaries as dividing Old Bombay and, well, what is Salsette Islands. So to come into Old Bombay today from a Bandra or an Andheri, you still have to go over the Mahim Causeway. And of course today you have the option of the Bandra-Worli Sea Link. Because the Mithi is such a dominant feature on the cityscape, it actually defined even the administrative boundaries of Mumbai. So you have the eastern suburbs, you have the western suburbs, and you have the island city. These are very sharply, starkly defined by the Mithi River. And further, if you go down to the municipal ward level, the administrative boundaries of the municipal wards, even these in many cases are defined by the Mithi River. So now finally we can zoom out and we can see how the Mithi River has been retrofitted to become the Great Wall of Mumbai. Beyond the Mithi River, even the railway lines of Mumbai are like the walls of Mumbai. You have the Western Line, Central Line and the Harbour Line. Look at the quality of life on the western part of the Western Line and you contrast it with the quality of life on the eastern part of the Harbour Line. And it is like comparing European Union to Sub-Saharan Africa. That is the level of the contrast. And they are no more than 5 to 7 kilometers apart in the same city. How did we end up here? How did Mumbai become so divided? It is a product of poor planning. It is a product of civic apathy. And of course, the free market reacting to this situation where the real estate market, for example, is going to dominate in places where the slums are not around. Who wants to live next to a slum? But the truth is, more than half of Mumbai lives in slums. They are the marginalized majority. The formal city, those of us who live in buildings, pakka houses, needs the informal city for its survival. But it chooses to keep the informal city at a distance, like drawing invisible lines on the map of Mumbai and always maintaining the status quo. We need to first open our eyes so we can open our hearts. Let's end this post-apartheid of our fellow Mumbaikars. Let's begin by giving them the very basic access to the formal city. Let's bridge these gaps, both metaphorically and physically, by making beautiful pedestrian connectors, multiple pedestrian connectors across the Mithi River, across the railway lines, connecting spaces that are so far unconnected. Why pedestrian connectors? Because more than half the trips in Mumbai are undertaken on foot alone, either walking or cycling. And the bulk of this is dominated within the informal sector. Naturally, the more affluent class will tend to a motorized form of transport. Therefore, it's that much more important that we make pedestrian connections. The most livable cities in the world, the most vibrant cities in the world are very pedestrian friendly. And Mumbai is not. We need to make that change now. It will not only make our city more livable, but it will make our city more socially just. Something that we have ignored for the longest time in the pursuit of making our city into Shanghai. Now, some of us may feel that we are better off without the informal sector. Slum-free Mumbai, Garibi hatao. To you, my friends, I would say look closer. Your driver, your maid, your delivery guy, even some of your doctors and your engineers and your scientists and your IT sector call slums their home. They are very hardworking people, they are very ambitious people, and they are equally Mumbaikars. Here is the undeniable truth. There is no Mumbai without the informal. Our lives are inseparable. They are interconnected, they are interwoven like no other city on this planet. This unique, beautiful city that we call home is a co-creation of the formal and the informal. There cannot be one without the other. It is a delicate dance, a symbiosis, without which there is no spirit of Mumbai. There is no Mumbai. Our future is at stake, and it is a common future for both the formal and the informal. We have to build it together. We have to plan for it together, because the consequences of what we do today, we're going to all suffer together or reap the benefits of together as one. Don't fall for the propaganda. Don't let the machine divide you. Some of you may now be able to see the demolitions of the slums at Garib Nagar in a completely different light now that you've understood what splintered urbanism means. And for those of you who are not from Mumbai city, you may now be able to see how your own city is splintered by a certain feature. It could be a highway, it could be a waterway, it could be a railway line, but something that divides your city into haves and have-nots. If you find something like this, please let me know in the comments and I'm happy to discuss with you. Thank you for tuning in. This is your friend, the Angry Urbanist, signing off.